Here on the 5 northbound. This is unrelated to Scientology, but there's a huge convoy, dump trucks, tow trucks, tractors headed northbound 5. We're up Van Nuys going into Sylmar. This is amazing. This stretches on as far as the eye can see. The event is in support of drivers, and it's quite something to see. So again, I'm headed out to the desert, but I wanted my audience to see this. Is a pretty amazing thing. It's several miles long. There's a heavy lift tow truck, and oh look, there's a head on that one. So this is an amazing thing. There are tow trucks and other vehicles pulled at the side of the road and showing support, and I'm in the slow lane. It's hard to get over because all the trucks are basically tightly spaced, but I'm here content to be in the slow lane covering it. And again, like I said, it just goes on and on. I have never seen this long of a convoy. So this is just part of life in Southern California. And we're coming up to the head of the convoy, which is, like I said, probably about 3 miles long. I would estimate it's spaced out. There are people at the side of the road. Here's a tow truck at the side of the road. They're doing filming. So it's a big social media event. I have got to jump in between the convoy so that I don't get stuck on the wrong freeway. But here, we're coming up to the very head of it, and all the heavy wreckers, the tow vehicles. Interesting to see. So I have got to punch it to get out ahead of the convoy so I don't have to exit only. Okay, there you go. Now let's see what we have up ahead. Okay, now the 5 freeway opens, and some more wreckers ahead. Oh, we got to change lanes. This guy doesn't want to let me go. Let's see this what happens. Okay, now we're through with it. Well, I support them. They do a lot of the heavy lifting here, literally. The tow trucks, the dump trucks, miles long convoys. So that's just a piece of Southern California living, as I said. And we're going to be checking with you later when we get out to the desert, working on something today. More vehicles ahead on the side of the road. These are filming, so that's probably part of their social media team. There's a nice El Camino. So they appear to be very organized, and they're getting a lot of footage for social media from people parked on the side of the 5 North. And when you have that many vehicles, it's very impressive. And then we're coming up into Santa Clarita, so let's see what the situation is. If we have more vehicles ahead because the traffic slows to a crawl. Oh, there's a nice Porsche. Look at that. Wow. Nice Porsche. Okay, coming up on Rockford Street. And, well, now we're, I can't read comments. You have to forgive me. Oh, hi, Pam. Hi, my usual audience. I can't really read the live stream, so I just wanted to show you what was going on here as we head toward Santa Clarita. And we're now Sylmar. And, oh, hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Rona. Like I said, I can't read comments, but now we're slowed to a crawl. With my instrument panel, what are we doing? So we're moving at 15 miles an hour on the 5. Very hazy day in Southern California, just hazy. No report of fires, but we are getting a lot of haze. That's the marine layer. It comes in at night. It's a cooling trend. It's been where I'm headed out to is about 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now we have probably about 85 degrees. I can see flashing lights, so there may be an accident ahead. Now, where we're at is the junction where one freeway joins another. So this is the hold on a minute. Okay, just checking my traffic, live traffic situation. See if I want to jump off and go over the mountain or stay on the freeway out to the 14. Living here in Southern California, freeways are like stair stepping, so you can go from north, south, east, west, north, south, east, west. Sometimes it's faster though in this part of the northeast corner of the county. Before you get to Santa Clarita, sometimes it's easier to jump onto Little Tahunga Road and just take the mountain pass over the foothills over to the 14. This reminds me of the Saturday Night Live, the Californians, where we do literally talk this way. So I'm on the 5, I'm going to jump onto the 14, but I might get off, and if I can even get off, and go to Rockford over a Little Tahunga, and then maybe cut over to Sand Canyon to the 14. So right now I'm making these calculations. Hey, by the way, if you go to the Scientology Money Project, my blog, you'll see I was reading, and let's jump on a Scientology related topic while we drive. And if Patrick, my mod's on, if he can hop on, that was just something I did spontaneously. So any comments, I will get to. And got a little closer, that guy stopped. Oh yeah, my blog, I got some freight manifests I found on clustermaps.com, which is an interesting site. You can look at addresses. I published two things last night. One is a list of SEERG members living on L. Ron Hubbard Way. That's a long list. It's almost 50 pages of names. Some are lone SEERG members, some are current, some are deceased. So you can check that out on my blog, a list of SEERG members. It's the longest single list I've ever seen. And it's on a publicly available site called Cluster, C-L-U-S-T-R, Maps, clustermaps.com. Cluster is also a word in Scientology meaning a cluster of BTs. So with body thetans, you can have one body thetan, or you can have a cluster of body thetans. And in Hubbard's instructions, secret instructions for body thetans, if you have to determine when you're telepathically locating them on the meter whether they're one BT or a cluster. And if it's a cluster, Hubbard gives you instructions on how to blow apart the cluster. That's how that works. Anyway, on cluster maps, it shows all the cluster of SEERG members, and the list is a little bit outdated, so I'm asking as part of an open source intelligence project for updates. Chuck Beatty posted, thank you, Chuck. That's how open source intelligence works. I noted to Chuck in a comment that somebody posts something and then other people add their knowledge, corrections, addendum, addenda. So to clarify, so this is a phenomenal list. Now the other thing this cluster maps had on it was freight manifests going back, and I listed that the Free Winds prison ship operated by then Majestic Cruise Lines, that now has a different operator. It shipped in 355 shipping containers, I don't know, cartons, crates of Barbados rum. And this is the Mount Gay rum, which is really expensive. But it shipped in, it was 35,000 pounds. That was the weight of the shipment of rum, which had to be thousands of bottles of Barbados rum. This is an interesting story. If anyone has any comments on why Scientology brought in a fuck ton of Barbados rum 2014, there's got to be subsequent buys. So what this inspired me to do is I'm going to go on register for a site where I can check freight manifests related to Scientology entities, what they're bringing in. In this, the post I put up shows all the shipments for a certain period of time. It's narrow. but it shows the freight forwarder, freight broker, and a company called In Music Brands out of Rhode Island. And they're bringing in musical instruments for Golden Era. They brought in some automotive brackets, but the weight of it was about 18,000 pounds, which means you have brackets at 1,800 pounds each. So when you look at the weights is what you really want to look at. That's why I found out how much rum there was, because if you take a 1.75 liter bottle of liquor, it'll weigh 5.9 pounds, rounded to 6 pounds. So if you have 35,000 pounds, you're going to have some of that weight's going to be the containers they're in. See if they're wooden crates, however they palletize them, containerize them for transport. But they transported them by ship. So you have a lot of booze there. And I have talked to former affluent Scientologists who left the church, who talked about the ideal orgs and other briefings they were invited to that featured hard liquor and cigars. So sort of a scotch and cigar party, or rum and cigar, but you get the idea. There's hard liquor and cigars, and they were allowed to see Gensler's building plans, and they just got briefed on these CGI fly-throughs. And so I know that the IES, the ideal orgs, have conducted, here we're going to get over, let me change lanes. There's more of the convoy I'm picking up here, as it looks like the 210, and there's more of the convoy. Wow, there has got to be every tow truck wrecker, we call them in America wreckers, there's got to be everyone in Southern California on this convoy. That's the truck bypass route on the 5 North, so you can get off the 5 North if there's special truck lanes, so that the trucks and the cars don't mix when you jump onto the 14, which takes you out to the Mojave Desert. Wow, look at how many people are there. Okay, so those are the normal tractor trailers, but part of the convoy's there. So we're going to stay here till we jump on the 14 north out to the Mojave. I do a lot of work out in the Mojave. I know the area really well, and there's a lot of things that go on out there in Antelope Valley. So if you have a case out there, I can work it. I know that part of town like the back of my hand. All the side roads, hideouts, movie ranches. It's a really interesting place. And it's where Edwards Air Force Base is, where the space shuttle, when it was operating, used to land. But you can see a lot of exotic aircraft out there. The B-1 and the B-2 you can often see flying. The B-2 stealth bomber, you can see it flight testing in Palmdale out of Lockheed plant. So if you know the days that are going to be that B-2's in town flight testing, you can go watch it. It's amazing how it's hard to see when it climbs and turns. It looks like almost like just a sheet of paper seen from the side in the sky. It's a very narrow, hard to visually see when it's up there, let alone see by radar. So we're going to go on to the 14 here, and we'll see if the convoy is going out to the desert. It doesn't look like, well, actually I see a film vehicle over there, but let's see if the convoy is where it's headed. I'm looking down the 5 North. It looks like it's headed on the 5 North, so we're not going to pick it up here, but let's just see if any of the convoy is going to head out. That is impressive. When you see that many people acting in solidarity for a cause, it's always impressive. Okay, so it looks like the convoy is headed to the 5 North. I don't see anything here. So back to our Scientology related story. Yes, there are briefings for the whales, the wealthy, affluent Scientologists, where they're basically cigars and booze, hard liquor. And then you get to look at the plans, and you see CGI fly-throughs of the orgs. and you write big checks, and these are invitation only events. So I guess you can, be a Scientologist and go get regged and get shit-faced and smoke cigars, and you can see the future of Scientology. Straight up in vertical expansion. That was a term David Miscavige used when Danny Sherman was alive and writing his speeches. Straight up in vertical expansion. You don't see that term used in Scientology post-pandemic. They're not using it. Now, some have opined, suggested that they're using AI, that they took all of Danny Sherman's writings, and that AI is now trying to create Danny Sherman's speeches. And that could be the case, because Danny Sherman had a unique literary style that was, how to best describe it. I want to be kind to Danny's memory, not call it bullshit, but it was bloviating. Kind of this bloviating style that was, he obviously used a thesaurus, and he'd have these bloviating long descriptions that would say nothing but manage to say it with a lot of words. And these are David Miscavige's speeches. Was they were trying to achieve a triumph of substance over style. I'm sorry, a triumph of style over substance, because you could literally, I once wrote a 570 word sentence in Sherman style, which I should post on my blog. Anyway, though, with that said, I don't know what the convoy was about, but they were solidarity. They do the heavy lifting, dump trucks, so much work. So if it's for a union, I'm very supportive of that. Oh, look out ahead. You can see the big thunderheads forming up there that look like they top out around probably 25 to 30,000 feet. So we may hit some thunderstorms out in the desert today, and if we hit one, we'll top out. They're not big as thunderheads go, but they are suggesting we might hit it. So Jeffrey Augustine, just checking in with you, a little bit of slice of life. Go read my blog. I'd like to get your comments and opinions on why, or if you're a former Sea Org, why did Scientology bring in thousands of bottles of rum, and do they continue to do it? This happened in 2014. And it is on the Scientology Money Project. I want to know all about this, details. Why was there a fuck ton of rum? Why so much booze? And I'm going to get on the Freight Manifest next week and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. This is my new project. The subscription service I'm going to use is $200 if you want to make a donation to pay for the Freight Manifest research. By all means, please do. My blog, I do a lot of subscription services. My blog's not monetized, but we do accept donations. They're appreciated. And I'm going to jump off now, and I'll check back in later when we get out to where we're going. And I can't bring you up on the skullduggery going on, but we are out.